Hi, my name is Bree, and I am the owner and lead instructor of Nurture Yoga Studio. This is just a little part of our studio. And today I am going to be going through a standing vinyasa flow. Probably only about 15 to 30 minutes for this flow. It's going to be a really fun sequence. So we're going to start at the top of our mat and kind of just do a little bit of stretches first. So come to Mountain Tadasana, hands facing the mat. Take a breath in and a breath out. With your next inhale, you're going to bring your hands up over top, and then hands are still facing and they're coming here in a wide stance, and then they're moving a little bit back, shoulder blades in, and then a little bit forward, and then a little bit back again, and a little bit forward. Hands coming down and behind, clasping them behind, shoulders roll back, nice little stretch here. Inhale in and exhale out. Release the palms. They're going to come to your side. Then you're going to take your hands back up. Right hand is going to clasp on that left hand. And then you're going to tilt over to that left side. 2 breaths here. And then you're going to come back to center and tilting over to the right side. 2 breaths. And then coming back around to center. All right, unclasp the hands, and then your right hand is going to clasp, or your left hand is going to clasp on that right wrist. Then we're going to tilt over to that right side, 2 breaths. And then coming back to center and over to that left side, 2 breaths here. And then coming back here, hands are going to let go. The hands face outside of the room and they just come back down to your sides. Perfect. All right. So here, what we're going to do is we're going to leave our hands pointed right at the sides of our legs. We're going to bring our right foot up in front of us here. Then we're going to turn our leg out to the side. And then coming back in. And we're going to send it down and behind us as we head forward. Doing a little warrior 3. And then hands coming down to the blocks here. Inhale in. Exhale, deepen the whole pose, bend a little bit in that knee. And then you're going to bend that right knee back in, allowing it to then come all the way to the ground. And then you're going to lift up, vertebrae by vertebrae, coming back to Tadasana. And we'll repeat on the other side. Taking a breath here. On your next inhale, you'll bring that right knee up and foot comes up right in front of you. And then you're going to open, bring that knee over to that side. Bring it back around to center. Going to hinge forward as you send that foot back, lengthen the foot back, point that toe, lengthen the arms, lower, warrior 3. Hands come down to the blocks. Breath here. And on your exhale, you're going to deepen that pose, maybe bend in that supporting leg. And then bringing that left knee in, and then lowering that foot down to the ground. And then lifting up vertebrae by vertebrae here. Great job. Right. We're going to do something similar here now that we've done our warm-up. What we're going to do is we're going to take that right foot back in front of us again. And then we're going to hinge forward, lengthening it out, sending it into that warrior 3. Then coming down to blocks or the mat. Once you come down to the blocks, move them out, come all the way down to the mat. Lower that back leg into a little bit of a lunge here. Breathing here. And you're gonna lift up into that warrior one. Come to the center. Both of those feet are gonna point to this nice little triangle pose. Arms are gonna come down. And then that right foot turns to the back of the mat. And lean a little bit forward with that knee. Warrior two. Drop that arm to that side of the leg and lift into that extended side angle. Lift back up into warrior two and then down into peaceful warrior. Back to warrior two. Your feet are going to turn in again, so the toes are going to turn right there. Going to turn that left, and we're going to do the same thing here. So warrior two. Breathing here. Then left hand, the forearm drops down into extended side angle. You can take it here. You can even take it all the way to the mat, whatever you prefer. Deep breaths here. Coming back up into that warrior two. And that backhand drops. Peaceful warrior. Back here. And then again, we're going to turn into warrior one over to the top of the mat. We're going to lower down. Stepping back into down dog. Pedaling the legs. Then we're going to walk our legs up to our hands. Forward fold, inhale in, flat back. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, swan dive up. Hands over top, hands connect above. And the heart center. Another breath here. So, I'm going to do that all again. Hands are going to come down here, making sure your feet are hip width apart. We're going to lift that left leg up in front of us. And then we're going to hinge forward, sending that leg lengthening out behind us, arms lengthening in front. Eventually our hands can come to the mat or the block. At warrior three. Inhale in, and then as you exhale deep in that pose, you can bend a little bit in that supporting leg. Then you're going to bend that left knee and lower it down. Breathing here. Then you're going to pick that left knee up, bend it back, come into this lunge, and then you're going to lift up. Then you're going to move those right toes over the left side and left toes as well. And then that left foot to the back and bend down into that warrior two. And then drop the hand, peaceful warrior. Coming back to warrior two and then back to extended side angle. Lifting back up to that warrior two. And then your toes are going to both point to the left side of the mat. Then the right toe points to that front of the mat and then bend in that knee, warrior two. And then you're going to drop that back hand to the back leg, hinge back into that peaceful warrior. Come back up Meet in warrior two just for a moment, and then down to that extended side angle. Coming back up into warrior two. Then, gonna move those toes. Finding that warrior two over on that left side. Pointing towards that back of the mat. Hands come up above as you rotate to the back of the mat into that warrior one. Hinge forward, lowering the hands down. Setting that foot back into downward dog and pedal. For an extra little challenge here, start to come to plank. Remember, hands right underneath the shoulders. You can always adjust here. Plank towards the back side of the mat. And then chaturanga, lower. Thanks. And then curl those toes. Lifting up into plank. And then into that downward dog. From here, we're going to lower to tabletop. We're starting to come to plank. And then you can lower the knees. And down. So we're going to do pigeon here. Just a nice little hip flexor exercise. So with that right leg, you're bringing the right knee right behind those hands as you lengthen in that back leg. Then you're going to rotate that foot and that lower leg 45-degree angle. And then lower to where it feels best for you. Making sure eventually you're uncurling those back toes. The top of that foot is on the ground. Breathing in and exhaling out. Deepening the pose on each exhale. You're also welcome to come to sleeping pigeon. You can come down to your forearms or always meet your hands with your forehead. Taking 3 breaths here. Slowly lifting back up to your hands. You're going to curl that back toe, lifting up on the knees, sending yourself back into tabletop. I have my blocks, I'm going to remove them quick. So now we're at tabletop, we're going to stretch to the other side. So that left knee comes up right behind there, lengthening that right foot back, making sure to adjust right there, and then lowering where it feels best on the mat. You can always use a bolster to support you underneath that hip flexor of the lengthened leg or underneath right here of this leg. And then anytime you can drop to your forearms for sleeping pigeon or stay on your hands. So 3 breaths here. Curling those back toes, lifting that knee, starting to lift up into tabletop. However feels best for you. I'm just going to do a little bit of spine recovery here. So once you're in tabletop, you're going to do an inhale in into cat and an exhale into cow. Inhale to cat, exhale to cow. And one more. Do one more lengthening exercise here. You're going to take your right hand and then lengthen the arm out. Left knee comes up, lengthen, flex that foot. Tuck in those hips. Navel comes in. Elbow and knee meet in the center of your body. They go back out. Meet in the center of your body. And they go back out. And third time. And lowers down. Breath here. And then switch sides. So that left arm comes out, lengthens. Right leg lengthens. And knees meet in the middle of your body. And back out. Knee, elbow to the middle. Lengthen back out. And one more time. and lower them back down to tabletop. All right, our toes are gonna meet. Big toes, we're gonna send our feet back. Arms stretch out into child's pose here. Forehead comes to the mat. Breathe 3 breaths here on your own. You are gonna lift back up. Coming into that tabletop. Then you're gonna find a seat. So sending your knees together, coming to a side seat here. And then one last recovery pose before we're done. Take your blocks, put them on the side of your mat, kind of in line with where your knees are. Vertebrae by vertebrae, you can come down to a laying position. You can always bring your palms to the ground, your forearms as you come down. And then you're gonna send your knees to those blocks, bottoms of your feet connect. Hands can be either in a T or just to your sides. And then 30 seconds here in this nice reclined butterfly pose. You can close your eyes, tuning into your breath. Noticing as your chest rises on the inhale and falls on the exhale. Awareness back to the surroundings, wiggling your fingers and your toes, gently opening your eyes. You can bring your knees up to meet, bottoms of the feet connect to the ground. Send your knees in to your body, wrapping the arms around, just rocking from side to side ever so gently. You can release the hands down. And here you can either roll to the side and start to come to a seated position, or you can send your knees a little bit in, feet up, and hands behind the knees, rock up. All right. When you come to that comfortably seated position, bring hands to heart center. Namaste. So thank you so much for joining me on that just about 15 to 20 minute Vinyasa standing flow. I hope you had fun with the sequences and feel free to keep practicing. Have a good rest of your day.